Hi and welcome to the race briefing video for Challenge Wales. First of all, massive thank you for choosing to enter Challenge Wales. We're super passionate about the quality of races that we deliver, and we really hope you enjoy the race that we put on for you. It really does promise to be a fantastic weekend. So first thing to say is you should have received a race information pack via email. Check out your spam, junk folders may have gone into there. If not, if you haven't received it, don't panic. You can jump onto the race website and download it from there. Basically everything you need to know, all the timings, everything for the weekend is in there. So download it or print it out, have a really good read through there. As I say, we'll refer to it many times in this video, but kind of that's your Bible for this weekend. First thing to say is registration. Again, opening times, locations, check out your race information guide. If you can, come on Saturday. The reg is open on Saturday and on Sunday. Now, if you do plan to come on race day itself, Sunday, then please come nice and early, allow plenty of time for parking, reg, get over to transition, rack your bike, because we will strictly adhere to the times advertised. One thing you will need to bring is photo ID for reg. That's for insurance purposes. Really, really important that we make sure it's you racing for lots of medical reasons, and really, really critical that is. In registration, you'll be given everything you need for the day, your time and chip, your swim hat, all the numbers that you need to put on, and any information can be found at reg. Once you've done that, head over to transition. Now, when you approach transition, to get into transition to rack your bike, you will need all your stickers on your bikes and helmets and things, and you'll need your helmet on and fully fastened. So if you can do that prior to getting to transition. Now, transition is laid out in a fair way. So we've got separate areas for the pros, for the middle distance, and for the sprint triathlon taking place on the same day. So as long as you rack in those areas, you can rack anywhere you like, first come, first serve basis. Fair transition, because where you go out, where you come in from the swim and out on the run, and bike out and bike in is laid out in a fair place. So wherever you rack, it's a fair transition. On that note, please, while you're in there racking your bike, make sure you familiarise your outs and your ins. That's really important for when the race is actually live. Transition, you're not allowed any plastic boxes. It must be a bag, and a small bag in transition, and you can sort of make your home and again plan your ins and outs. Super critical. Once you've done that, again, all the timings of when it opens, when it closes in your race information guide. Once you've done that, you can head over to the start line, which is by the first slipway. It'll be pretty obvious, be lots of crowds. We've got the big stage and the finish lines all in that one area there. We'll have another very quick briefing before we allow you to go into acclimatise to swim. Now, really important that you all go in the water acclimatise. Get some water inside that wetsuit, get your core body temperature down as much as you can. Hopefully the weather's kind to us. If you're standing around in a wetsuit, it can get your core body temperature up. So we want to lower that. So get in, have a splash about, listen to the announcements, and please come out when we ask you to, so that we don't delay the start. The swim itself, okay, let's talk about the course. So you'll start on dry land, on the slipway. The course itself, there will be a swim buoy, which is a straight sort of swim, as if you're headed out to sea. It's an anti-clockwise swim, so keep the buoys on your left-hand side until you come back into the slipway, where we'll put a buoy just for sighting purposes, really, just to make sure you hit that slipway at the right angle. The slipways are slightly angled, so you don't want to hit them straight on, because you come up the side where there's some sharp objects. You kind of need to come around the bottom of the slipway. Kind of that's the course, if you like. From a safety point of view, it's a mass start, but you don't have to put yourself into the carnage, okay? So my advice would be, let the person in front of you run into the water, let them start swimming, then you can go find your own water. You'll have a much more pleasant swim. When you're in the water, we've got a professional water safety team there looking after you. Every single person on that water is professionally trained, okay, so they're there to look after you. If you need their assistance, please lie on your back and put your hand in the air. Now that's really, really important, because a couple of things it does. One, it brings your airways out of the water, and also it's fairly obvious, it's fairly easy to see. If you're in the water and you need help and you start waving like this, it's very, very similar to a forward-facing stroke, like a front crawl, so it can be easily confused and you might not be seen. Now, if you need somebody's help and then you can carry on, you will not be disqualified. I think that's really important as well. When you exit the water, for the middle distance, you'll be doing 2 laps, so you'll have a run around, head back into the water. If you're doing the sprint, it's just the one single lap. The different buoys laid out for you there, all the buoys and all the colourings, and the swim course will be made clear to you just prior to your start. So once you head out to the swim, head into transition, onto your bike. You should all by now know the rules of transition, and head out onto the bike course. Now, on the bike course, you've got to cross the mount line before you can get on. So there will be, again, a line on the road, and signage and marshals and volunteers there to mark that point. Okay, so you're out onto the course. This year, as you all know, we've introduced road closures. Now, as with any event, we will endeavour to make sure it's as traffic free as possible. There will be some vehicles on course, as in course cars, carers. We've issued some passes so that carers can get to their destinations as well. So it's not completely traffic free, and you must ride accordingly, okay? So you must ride accordingly. Now, the course is super simple. You basically head out of transition, cross a roundabout onto the road, and it's one straight road all the way up to St David's, where you'll hit a turn point, come back. For your middle distance, you do 2 laps. For the sprint distance, there's a turn point which will be fairly well marked and fairly obvious. Keep an eye out for those signs, because you don't want to go the full loop of the middle distance, because you'll be going a lot further. So keep an eye out for that, okay? It'll be well signed, well marshalled. On the notes of the turn points, it's really important that you scrub your speed off. You slow down right up to them, okay? They will be sharp. They're pretty much a complete U-turn, and it will be tight, okay? So when you see the warning signs to slow down for the turning points, please heed that advice and scrub your speed off. When you're out on course, naturally, it's a non-drafting event, and we will have motorbikes out there sort of policing that sign as well, police motorbikes as well. They'll all be one team out there on the bike course as well. Now, we do have a feed station, not for the sprint course, you'll be turning to soon. For the middle distance, just before you get to the St David's turn, there'll be a feed station there. Now, my advice to everyone is to start with 2 bottles, and various items at the feed station. If you require any specific fuel, carry it yourself is my advice, okay? So if you want gels, you need bars, you need specific energy drink, sachets, carry themselves. Now, what is important if you do carry it yourselves is please dispose of your litter responsibly. So at a feed station, there'll be bins, dispose of your litter there. Or we have a saying in Activity Wales events that if you can carry it full, you can carry it empty. So please don't dispose of any litter whilst on course. That will carry an automatic disqualification. Then naturally there will be a lot of you out on course, so communication is key. So stay left unless you're overtaking, ride within the conditions of the road, and ride within your own ability. That's super important. Very, very easy at an event to get caught up in the event and maybe ride outside your ability, and maybe that's where you could probably give yourself some problems. So that's super important. Now, when you head back into transition, you got to dismount before the dismount line, so you've got to get off your bike before the line, head into transition back to where you unracked your bike. There you can make your transition out onto the run course. Again, you should know your outs and ins of where you need to exit for the run course. And then for you sprint athletes, it's 1 lap, super simple, just do 1 lap. For your middle distance athletes, it's 4 laps, okay? There is a lap band station out there. So my advice again is just is keep ticking off those laps until you've got your 4th lap band. And once you know you've got your 4th lap band on, you know that next time you come back to HQ, instead of running around, you can head straight up the finish line. Again, there is a drink station on course. Really important that you dispose of all your litter on that drink station, okay? You're not allowed to carry any cups onto the drink station. You must dispose of all your litter there. By all means, you can stand around, you can wait, but there is a point where you're not allowed. Basically, you go onto the coastal path. So we cannot have any litter there. We must contain all litter. Toilets, there will be toilets on all the feed stations. So just keep an eye out for them. You will be at instant disqualifications if you do anything outside of those toilets. The other thing to consider on the run is when you sort of go up and you head into a very, very short section of a housing estate. Those roads are live, but super quiet. They love it. They'll all be out in the gardens. They love the triathlon. So, but just keep that in mind. You know, when you're crossing those little side streets, those roads are open. So just make sure it's your responsibility to make sure it's safe to cross. As well as all the normal safety features in the race, we've got around about 150 volunteers coming to guide you around. If you need any assistance or help from the race office, then just ask them. They've got a direct line into us and we can get help to you. And please, if you can, if you've got any energy, please thank them. They're going to be out there for an awful long time on the weekend. So I know they really appreciate interaction with athletes. And ultimately they're there out of the passion to help you guys to the finish line. And so we can't wait to welcome you at that finish line. It's going to be pretty spectacular. There's going to be a lot of things going on. This is a race that we're really committed to building into something truly special. And also on that note, the team are working super hard at the moment, sort of making those final plans. So if you've got any questions, please try and find them yourself if you can on the race packs on the website, and only drop us a line in the office. The office is manic at the moment, so only drop us a line if you can't find that information anywhere. Apart from that, again, can't wait to see you next weekend, and good luck with your final preparations.